This is your Beef Burger Baconator Slayer, coming at you from the wife's home office, better yet known as the kitchen. Please don't kill me, hon. Anywho, I set off on a little mission recently to make my brother a knife, my oldest brother, Gerard. And it had its ups and downs. I had envisioned this knife that I wanted to make him, and upon showing it to him, it wasn't exactly what he wanted. And in finding out what he wanted, I talked to him about, the strength of the blade and whether or not it would be practical. You figure anybody can go out and buy a Mora, which is about $15. This is the Mora Companion. This is made out of Swedish steel. This is high carbon. The other type that they make is stainless. Perfect knives. A lot of people love them. Super affordable. $15. You can get 3 of them for, $45. And they'll probably last you 10 years. But that's a mass-produced knife. And you go out. You like the toothpick X? Yeah, that's high tech. My last video I made, I didn't know where to put my hands, and I ended up at the bottom of the screen or off the screen. It wasn't good. Anyhow, you buy a custom knife from someone, and it's cool normally because you're getting something that nobody else has or very few people have, and you're obviously paying for the time, effort, and the amount of ingenuity that went into just designing it, let alone making it. So I thought that it would be cool, since my wife and I are going up to see our family in Connecticut next week for a wedding. I thought it would be cool that I would bring him a knife that was not just custom, and not just a custom knife made for him, but a custom knife made for him by his own brother. All the other custom knives that I've made, and whatever, little jewelry and pendants and stropping blocks, I have always made them for somebody, and I've always, they've always been part of the process of making it. And so they always cherish it more than buying a custom knife just off the shelf or off the internet. But this is even more special, because to me at least, hopefully to him as well, because it's not just a custom knife. It's not just a custom knife made for him, but it's a custom knife made for him by his blood relative brother. So, Jer, I hope you like the knife. You call that a knife? This is a knife. That's a spoon. Oi! I guess you've played Knifey Spoony before. That's an old Simpsons reference. Anyhow, for real, this is the knife that him and I collaborated on and came up with. This is the Unforgiven. Now, originally, I had wanted to do this knife with maple scales, because our dad and all of our family were all French Canadian, which is why there's the dark blue liners, which you probably won't be able to see. But all of our family is French Canadian. My dad grew up in Canada making maple syrup. He still taps his own trees and makes maple syrup every spring, and he gives it to us at a very reasonable price of free. Thank you very much. And it ended up not working out. I screwed the pooch on those scales, and I didn't have a second pair, and I wasn't going to get another pair in fast enough. So I ended up making the handle out of black micarta. This is black paper micarta, which is basically the same thing as fiberglass or carbon fiber. It's made the same way in layers, except that in between the layers they don't. They put the same resin. They just don't use fiberglass or carbon fiber. They just use paper. So it's still a durable, tough, resin-impregnated material. It's just not as expensive. It's readily available. It's easy to make yourself if you are so inclined. And it's pretty badass. This fits my hand. I have a nice little thumb groove right here. As you can see, accidents happen. But this is a nice knife. It's very comfortable. It's an angry little fucker, really. As you can see, I have my maker's mark. Again, my family is all French Canadian. So, now along with this knife, and talking with Gerard, get that over by the X, because I'm so technologically sound, and talking with Gerard, I asked him how he wanted to carry this knife, this, that, and the other thing, and in collaborating we came up with a horizontal back carry. So the kydex sheath that he has is a horizontal carry sheath. Easy to put on. Just slide it through the belt loops, or slide these belt loops over your belt. It'd probably be easier to do that before you put your belt on. But very nice sheath, pretty tight fit. Before I put that in the sheath, I just want you to know, inside the sheath I have, there's WD-40 in there, and what that does is it just helps the blade slide in and slide out smoother. This blade is already sharp. There's nothing left for me to do to this. So let me see if I can get in there. See that? See that? Yeah, that's disgusting. But it works. But it works. As you can see, I won't even grab it by the actual kydex, because people think that you squeeze the kydex so it doesn't fall out. I will grab it by the belt buckle in the back itself. See that? That little fucker isn't going anywhere. Handy dandy little thumb groove here on the side. Help you get it started. Pull it out. Putting this back in on your back will be a bitch. But the concealed horizontal back carry knife sheath 2015 Back to the Future, what is it? Today's the 21st. Back to the Future. Today's the date Marty came here. Anywho. The horizontal carry isn't a carry of convenience as much as concealment and surprise. So this is one of those things, you whip it out. If you need to take care of something, you take care of it. Putting it back, hopefully, will be a less, what's a good way to say this? A less extreme situation than when you took it out. And with this, I have no doubts that it would be. This knife blade is every bit of 5 inches long. My palm is 4 inches wide. So, 4-inch wide palm, about 2 times my wiener. Just kidding. That was a joke. And that's it. So, I'll be handing this off to Gerard next week, and hopefully he doesn't chop off his wiener with it. Or a thumb. Or a finger. So, funny thing about this, I actually cut this doing the final sharpen on this knife. So, this is a beautiful knife. It feels great in your hand. Again, fits into this kydex sheath perfectly. One thing about people's kydex sheaths that they need to keep in mind is kydex will not scratch your knife. If you get scratches from your kydex, it's not because... Alright, sorry about that. Back to what I was talking about. The kydex will not scratch your knife. It is not hard enough to scratch your knife. A lot of people think that it will not. What ends up happening is little bits of sand and dirt get inside of a sheath, and as you sheath and unsheath your knife, that's when the little bits of sand and quartz and all that rub up against your knife blade. But the kydex itself is merely thermoplastic. It is plastic. Your knife will cut this plastic, and this will not scratch your knife, especially heat-treated O1 tool steel that we are using today. This is a very good quality steel. So back to the knife sheath itself. This is a very good fit, as you can see. A lot of people do is when they show how tight the knife is in the sheath, they will, hold on. When they show how tight a knife is in the sheath, they'll squeeze it right here and shake it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to grab it by the belt loop itself and shake. And as you can see, there's no way that I'm applying pressure. This knife is in there solid. I put a thumb loop right here and pop it off, pull it out, good to go. So, of course, the moment everybody always waits for, what can it actually do? Obviously, it can make a disgusting mess. So, this is the second shot of this. The first one didn't save, and now the knife is disgusting. So, here it is, the Unforgiven. Let me wipe that off real quick. Made for my brother Gerard. The next knife that I make for a family member is going to be for Richard, my other older brother. Him and I are going to have to get in touch with one another and collaborate on that. And that's it. I want to thank everybody who watches my videos, all three of you. I think it's cool that I can show family members far away what I'm doing, as well as connect with complete strangers and let them into a little chunk of my world. Maybe teach them something. Maybe learn something back from them. So, this has been your Beef Burger Baconator Slayer. Signing off.